All right, Coach, overall thoughts on tonight's win?
Yeah, got gritty there at the end. Uh, Mercer hung around and definitely gave us some fight there at the end. But I was super proud of our servers. Sydney Austin got us back in that match with her serving, and then Sarah Bates kind of closed the door. We've been very fortunate to have some really aggressive, good servers at clutch times throughout the season. Madison Marks got us off to a good start in both sets 1 and 2. So those are those are game-changing service runs for us. So that was a big highlight tonight, and really helped us through a couple of difficult stretches.
Questions?
Yeah, what did you say to the team during that timeout when y'all were down 16-13 and after that y'all took the match?
Yeah, I was actually pretty calm. I felt like we were getting frantic, and we just needed to. I told them to relax, but stay competitive. We were getting very chaotic. We hit balls out of bounds, and I think we got aced, and we really just needed to slow the game down, kind of go back to basics and some fundamentals, soften up our passing touch so we could get some good swings. And I think we came back and Kalina got a kill right after that. And, it was a really good volleyball play with good pass, good set, good swing. And then we kind of rotate through and get a little mojo there. But Amaya took some really aggressive swings after that timeout as well, that kind of gave us the juice in the front row that we needed. And Ashlyn Axtell was really good tonight as well. She was efficient offensively. She was a presence at the net. And our bench energy was really good. It's really easy, when things aren't going your way, for everything to get quiet. The crowd gets quiet, the bench gets quiet, but I felt like our bench really stayed engaged and got us through that little rough spot. So a lot of good team play there.
Yeah, and speaking on that aggression, you talked about after the Jackson State game how you wanted them to start out early, and they did. They started out early in that game. How did you bring that over into this game?
Well, we've been practicing it, right? I think that what we do in practice shows up in game day. And, we challenged them with that after the Auburn match, and they've been really good about it. They're talking about it. It's on their radar. And, when we finished up in the locker room tonight, we had a player give us a challenge hey, we got to take this competitiveness into practice tomorrow, right away. We can't, be satisfied and be soft tomorrow. We got to come in and we got to work. So when that's coming from players, that's a good sign.
Yeah, just a pretty big one like that. How did you keep the players composed and confident when you were trailing in that third set?
Well, I think that some of it has to do with how we react as coaches affects the players, right? So if we panic, they're already frantic. We went through a stretch there where it wasn't good volleyball. So in that moment, we have a choice, right? We have to bring them back together, keep them connected, remind them that good, easy, fundamental volleyball wins. And, if I go in there and I'm ranting and raving and keeping them fired up and, boiling emotion over, I don't think that helps. So we went in there and tried to calm the waters a little bit, put the emotion to the side, and let's just focus on, a little bit of our process and how we want to play. And they responded really, really well to that. So it was a good reminder for me too as a coach as we move forward in the season.
Last question. What does this comeback and resilience say about the character of your team moving forward?
Well, this team has a lot of gumption, they want it really bad. And so, I think that players playing their roles made a huge difference tonight. And it's hard to come in, and just be a serving specialist like Sarah Bates right now. But she's coming in and she's doing that at a super high level. And it is a reason why we are able to be successful, these last two matches. One of our middles going on a serving run, that's practice and that's consistency. That's knowing what your team needs you to do with some challenges that came from the coaches, even during preseason about, hey, this is going to be part of your role. You need to execute this well. And they're going in there and doing that and making sacrifices for the team. And so when that happens, then good volleyball can happen. And then the team rises, right? And so we've seen that over the last couple weeks. I'm excited about that trajectory for the team. And, we've got to get back in the gym tomorrow and get better because, Kennesaw's another good team and they're going to be physical and we're on their home court. So, kind of get back in the gym and, get better for Sunday.
Anything else?
Amaya Butler, 18 kills, 15 digs. What kind of work has she been putting in that you've seen as far as the leaders you've been talking about to get to that point tonight?
Yeah, she had a great match tonight. you know, and she's also passing really well, you know. So we challenged her with it. You got to be our offensive go-to, and she's accepted that role. And you know, there's times where, you know, I got to get on her about it, and she's responded great. And tonight she was making a lot of good plays, and you know, I just don't ever want her to be satisfied. You know, I want her to continue to play with that chip on her shoulder and play like she's got something to prove. You know, I think she's one of the best players in the Sun Belt this year. You know, and I want her to go out there and earn that every week, you know, and be the consistent player that she wants to be and we know she can be.
Awesome. Thanks, Coach.